What's small and not Mudkip? I don't know, a lot of things. But I do have this Treecko. Treecko is the small gecko grass starter for the Hoenn region. And honestly, it's the least lame out of the group. You know, if we could just swap Treecko with Chikorita, Gen 2 would have a solid starter set. And Gen 3 would be the disappointment trio. Back on topic. I've got myself a Treecko, and I'm going to throw him into battle after battle until I'm crowned victorious. So first things first, check out this Treecko. Okay stats, useless hidden ability, and level 1. And you know I transferred him in the second I was able to. You know, which is right when you meet Sonia. So I had to go around gimping out wild Pokemon with a level 1. Oh, and once again I chose and proceeded to abandon Grookey. Now, I didn't really mesh with the last Pokemon I did this with. So I figured that if I were to dress like a Treecko trainer, I may enjoy it more. So we head to Grand, and as tradition, we lose to Little Billy of the Hill. We skimp by Hop because Treecko has a bad moveset. And then similarly to Grookey, we are also abandoned into the middle of the wild. We make our way to opening ceremonies, introduce Team Yell's Pokemon to the ground, and move on to Milo. In case you were wondering, this Treecko counts as a traded Pokemon, so if I exceed a certain level with him, he doesn't listen. So I carefully plan my battles and enter Milo's gym at the right level of 21. Well, this time around, Milo isn't our type disadvantage, so we're able to hang around enough and swift to victory. After our therapy, we book it to Nessa's town, and we are a tad over leveled again, but good news, we're super effective to her, and we wait around and eventually take a badge. We then enter the mines, tell Bede to come back when he's a main character, and we join up with Hop and Bop the team who likes Pop that sought to get us to Opt so Marnie could be on top. We then proceed to make the biggest mistake of our run. We tell Kabu to go back to the gym. Now, I'm no fool to type disadvantages, and I wasn't even going to try without bulking up my Treecko first. So, for the next DS, I went around and did raid battles, over and over until I could max out my Dynamax level. And then I kept going. So, real quick look at Kabu's team: Ninetales, Arcanine, and Centiskorch. Fire, fire, bug fire. After many runs, I could potentially make it to Centiskorch. But seeing as my stab grass move did a quarter amount of damage to hit, and I couldn't live one G-Max move, I knew something needed to change. Now, tell me, do you know fear? Not being scared or anything, but the competitive Pokemon term, fear. It essentially stands for Focus Sash, Endeavor, Quick Attack, Rattata. Let's break it down. The user of the Fear Rattata has it at level 1. It will move second due to most anything outspeeding it. And when it gets hit, the held item Focus Sash will leave it with 1 HP. The Rattata then uses Endeavor, which sets your opponent's HP equal to your own. The next turn it uses Quick Attack, a priority move, and proceeds to take out the Pokemon. In layman's terms, it's a Gimp tactic. Now, why am I telling you this? Treecko can learn Quick Attack. Treecko can learn Endeavor. Treecko could be used as a Fear Rattata-tat-tat-tat. But here's the problem. The held item Focus Sash is not available at this point in the game, so we can't do it. Faced with this dilemma, I explore other options and try to do something that's completely new. I try to build love and friendship with my Pokemon. So I set up camp and play with the feather stick, make curry, and throw the ball, and throw the ball, and throw the ball over and over and throw the ball until he loves me. But what I got by playing with Treecko was something great. The one anticipated result is that if your Pokemon's affection to you is high enough, it has the small chance to survive a hit on 1 HP. It can also cure itself with status effects and has a higher chance of landing criticals. The other unexpected result is that the higher affection will get Treecko to listen to me more. So, the Focus Sash is replaced with Love. We have Endeavor and Quick Attack, and instead of a Rattata, it's a Treecko. So, instead of Fear, we have Leet. Perfect. We go back to challenge Kabu and we confirm something. You can't Gimp Dynamax Pokemon. At best, it does half the health, but then, you could do it again. So theoretically, if I threw my head at the wall enough times, I'd be able to get the perfect scenario where Treecko would love me enough to withstand 2 Dynamax moves and cure himself of all and any burns through sheer determination. So after banging my head repeatedly for weeks on end, literally I was trying so many times to get this to work, and after having like peak opportunities set up over 20 times, I never got it. I thought to myself, I did a good chunk of raid battles. Let's see where that gets me. So I ditched the leap method, and I had Treecko take a small dose of 139 extra small candy. Then I tried to take Kabu on like normal, and I still came up short. So I went up. I eventually dumped 229 small candy on Treecko and tried to win that way. But after more trying and dying, I ended up dumping the medium candy as well, and was at a cool level 71. But don't forget, Treecko still has an attitude problem, so it wasn't a cakewalk by any means. Though, during this weeks-long struggle to obtain a fire badge, I had the funniest moments of Pokemon. Some of my favorites were when I Dynamaxed Treecko only for him to fall asleep, or when I would send him out into battle with the text box saying, "Treecko looked at you and gave you a nod and understanding," then didn't listen, or when it said, "Treecko's waiting for your directions," only to ignore said directions and punch himself in the face. Best Treecko ever. Eventually, I succeeded, and moved on to better, greater things. I arrived in Dragon Town, so I advanced up to Punchy Town, and had a run-in with my ultimate rival, the Painter. Yep, he killed me last time due to moves missing, and he killed me this time as well. I laughed. So I got to Fight Club. I saw Child Delinquency, Sonia, and Rocks. I moved on to cripple an old woman. When I got to town, I was smarter this time, and grabbed the Eviolite first thing. I got to the gym, and by this time I'd already adopted a new strategy for gym battles. Push as much as I can, and Dynamax when they Dynamax to soak hits, then take them on one-on-one. After I gave the old bird the bird, I left. I went on to try and take on the Rock Gym, but I was stopped by Mr. Big Dick. So, something I hoped that would never happen to me again during this run is I find a fire type, or something that can Dynamax that is super effective against me, because Treecko's early game type coverage blows. Oh, in case you're wondering, being over-leveled didn't help, because I was starting to fight evolved Pokemon at this point, and Treecko's a squishy boy, a squishy girl, and can't take a lot of hits. So when Hot pulled out his Heatmore, I had my defense dropped and died. A lot. After many good attempts, I found that after Heatmore comes Snorlax, and Treecko is a special attacker. Luckily, through either my raids or dumb luck, I picked up TR Low Kick. Low Sweep? The fighting type move that does damage based on weight, and Snorlax is a chunk. So with that new move, I was able to eventually win. I moved on to the Rock Gym and fell through every hole, and was then presented to Gordy. And guess what type his ace Pokemon is? Rock. And also Fire. So I eventually got big when he got big and healed, and then I low swept that pile of rubbish because he's a chunk too. I then went on to bathe with Sonia, and fought Hop, and due to his AI making stupid decisions, I made it past his steel bird, and won! I then skipped across a river and plowed Marnie's team into the ground, and like the last time I went to Spikemouth, I brought along starter number 2. This one is named 35, because that's how many subscribers I had when I started this run. I got to Captain Copyright and skimmed by his skunk tank. I moseyed on down to Dragon Town and taught myself Rock Tomb, which Gordy gave me, so I could kill that Turtonator who I knew was coming. I got past the doubles trial and went on to face the self-proclaimed Dragon Master. I took out his support Pokemon, Dynamaxed and killed Flygon. Then I healed up and made it Duraludon. I then watched a rehash train sequence and made my way to the Icy Path. Upon my arrival, I went directly to the stadium and invited Marnie to no longer participate in the tournament. I then took on Hop, maxed for his bird, and slapped his Inteleon back to the ground. Leon said yo, we said cho, Alina said no, and a big one at that. Stupid speed drops and Tisserini with acrobatics that hit like a truck, so I went and got my own acrobatics, and still couldn't take it down in 2 hits. The logic here being I needed to make it to Garbodor, tank his hits, then Dynamax to kill it. That was the only way. I then remembered I had one more stash of candy, and I thought that 90-something sounded pretty nice. So after that morale boost, I made it past. Honestly, I was in the 70s. It was getting real hard to compete with guys in the 50s. I gave every challenging battle multiple runs before I made any major changes. After that, it was time to fight the last few battles. I conquered Nessa and Bea, and then I fought Dragon Man, and on the first attempt, I was going to win! And he decided he didn't want his Duraludon to get hit, so it simply avoided my 100 accuracy move with, no buffs or anything, and then he killed me. Multiple attempts later, similar situation, but I healed to max and finished him off properly. Then we were invited to play with Rose. Then... Then we punched him till he died! Leon time. Oh, by the way, people in Galar are disgustingly trigger happy with Protect type moves, because Turtonator. And Leon. So, if he wants to be cheap, I can be cheap. So I did like Chimchar before me and took some defensive drugs. And Leon didn't like that one bit, so he started attacking me. I introduced rocks to Pyro Rabbit, assured his Jet Dragon that it was gonna die, chopped his other dragon, and then I was told to get ready to see what Charizard could do. So I Dynamaxed my Treecko, and slapped that overgrown lizard with a giant slab of rock and critical hit that punk out of my seat. And that would be it. Once again, I've conquered Galar with just one Pokemon. I'm happy I was able to finish this. I've had some stuff going on, and by doing this, I feel like it helped me start back up again. So, fun thing, I held on to Treecko 35, and if someone wants them, just leave a comment or tweet me or something. And if there's multiple people, I'll pull a name. And if no one wants them, I know some Grookey's that'll take care of them just fine.